responds to with diabetes or complications is give you more insulin. Their objective is, you tell us that you got a complication with insulin, then our condition and perspective is give you more insulin. Now, if I'm having the problem with the portion that you're giving me, what makes me think, or what even makes you think that that problem will be solved in
Can
short time?
everybody hear Elton? Can everybody hear Elton?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So, Dr. John T, please.
Well, coming back to, I said what is wrong, what I don't agree with. Now I have to explain what I believe in. Otherwise, it does not make sense. What are you supposed to do?
Right.
Let
right.
me explain a different hypothesis. I call it the fatty acid burn theory. In a sense, in a nutshell, our muscles are the organs that use the maximum amount of glucose to produce energy. But muscles are like a hybrid car engine that can use either gasoline or electricity. When it runs on electricity, the gasoline stays there. You cannot say that engine is resisting gasoline. Similarly, muscles can use fatty acid as an alternate fuel. So if it is producing energy from fatty acid, it does not need glucose. At the time of diagnosis, the type 2 diabetic patient does not know there is any weakness. He's running, he's playing, he's playing professional sports without any problem with energy production. That means the muscles are running on plenty of fatty acid, and that's why glucose stays in the blood. Now, how could this happen? How can there be so much fatty acid in the blood? And where does the fatty acid come from? Now, fatty acids can come from digestion of fat from the food or production of fatty acid in the liver. So what is the raw material that the liver uses to produce fatty acid? Now, let me back up a little bit. What does our food, modern day food, consist of? 50% of the energy, daily food energy in the developed countries' diet comes from grains, complex carbohydrate from grains, either rice or wheat or corn. When is the last time you had a meal or a snack without a grain product? Soon after digestion, the blood glucose, it is absorbed as glucose. But the liver can keep only 120 grams. The rest will be converted into fatty acid to be stored as fat. But if the fat stores are full, the fatty acid will stay in the blood, and muscles will automatically switch to fatty acid burning, leaving glucose in the blood. It is just a switch. Muscles are programmed to do that. When you are fasting all day, you can still run and play. Marathon runners, they keep on running even without eating for hours. How do they do that? They do that because the muscles are burning fatty acid. It's a normal physiological function. It's nothing abnormal. There is more fatty acid in the body, in the blood, and muscles have switched to it. That is all that is happening. So it is a lifestyle condition primarily because of the increased intake of grains or grain flour-based foods. 100 years ago, the percentage of energy that humans consumed from grain-based foods was less than 35%. Now, as I said, in the developed countries, it is 50%, and developing countries, it is 70%. Why? Because almost every government subsidizes grain farming. That's the cheapest food available. That's the most convenient food available. So what do people buy, especially Black Americans? Black households have a lower income, annual income. So in order to feed the family, they go to the cheapest food. What is that? What is it made of? Grains. And this is what is happening. And this is why Black Americans have higher incidence of type 2 diabetes. It is not genetic. It is our lifestyle forcing them to buy food that is cheapest. And it is cheaper because it is subsidized by the government. Now,
So let me make a point here. So your suggestion, and this is interesting because over the last years, we've just got so acclimated to grain, and grain is surplus into our systems, which seems to indicate it's the natural because of economy and our spending capacities. We're more turned toward grain products, and those grain products are causing the deficiency that drives diabetes up. So like that, or the shortage of insulin that way. Wow.
exactly.
Wow.
Otherwise, there is no way you can explain the increasing incidence of type 2 diabetes all around the world. There has to be some common
Right.
factor.
This is
Everywhere
an
in the world,
interesting
even
point.
poor countries.
Yeah. So now the question is, how do we subvert this so that you're not the one that the rock falls out of the sky and hits, because this is equivalent to something like that. So I tell you what, we just gonna have to, this is amazing, Dr. John. Your previews and understanding and concepts with pinpoint accuracy on this matter. I could see the value. I'm excited for. And so, the question is that we will probably fathom and gather together to get a more conditioned perspective on this. We want to thank you, Dr. John, for being here. Can you, is there something else you need to tell us? Or
I just want to make one more comment before I go.
okay, very good.
That is, if we can cut down the amount of grain-based foods to 1/2 of what you are eating right now, do it gradually, but come to that, you can control your blood sugar without medications.
Wow. Wow. That's a profound statement, doctor. And let's put that out in the stratosphere to get more people to listen with that relevant fact on terms to mean that you can have control over this. That's a major deal. So with that, thank you, Dr. John, for joining us, being with us today. Put your chat details on our network line, and let's coordinate something very relevant with this group that you were suggesting that have complications to diabetes or complications. And there's a group form that we can harness and develop some speed on. So wonderful, man. Your broadcast is always so profound and always certifiable. So I do want to get our